And you know how much I liked your book, but what particularly surprised me about your book was when you went into certain small towns, certain places, and your mind changed. You actually evolved in your thinking. Give us an example of some town you went to where you actually met people and say, okay, my mind has been opened up a little.
Oh, this is great. The last time you interviewed me, I got a job out of it. So this will go well for me, I'm sure. Yeah, I went to the town in America that had the highest percentage of Trump voters. And I thought I would teach them a lot, and they would teach me a little, like, something I could stitch on a doily probably and keep in my house. But instead, I really, it kind of changed the way I lived. Because they would gather every night on porches and not look at their phones and go to church and have these communities. And I really thought, like, they knew more about how to live than I did, but I definitely knew more about how to vote than they did.
So what did you take away from them on the political side? You talked about the voting of it. When they talked about Donald Trump and how he impacted their lives, what did they say?
Well, I think as people, we feel speed. We don't feel speed. We feel acceleration. And what they have felt, even though white Christians are still the most powerful group in the country, they feel like they have less power than they used to. And it's an existential crisis for them. And they just want to stand on top of the mountain and yell, stop. And I could feel why they feel Christians are more discriminated against than black people, because that's the experience they're living.
So did you get any sense of why so many feel such resentment toward people like us and where we live and how we make our living?
Yeah, because they knew more about my life than I knew about theirs. Like, they'd traveled to cities. They certainly have televisions where they see either this show or Modern Family or some show that pretty much replicates my life. Mm-hmm. And I went to this town and I really knew very little about them or their work or their lives. And that made them really angry.
Were you surprised that I would assume that you heard a lot of references to God and church and religion?
I went to church, yeah.
Yeah, that you don't hear, like from, for instance, Democrats running for president?
Yeah, or from me, or on this show. So yeah, they're living a very different life than I am, and they wanted me to see it and know it, and I'm glad I did.
Claire.
You know, I understand where you were, because for a lot of my state,